Good morning, students. This is Dr. Ubaid Akram Farooqi, Associate Professor of English at Babu Shobharam Government Arts College, Halwa. Today's lecture pertains to MA Final Year, Paper 5B, American Literature. This is part 2 of Death of a Salesman, a critical summary. Yesterday, we read together a critical summary of Death of a Salesman, and today we are going to discuss it side by side. As a flute melody plays. So you notice here that the play begins with the music of flute melody. And this is important, my dear students, because Willy Loman's father was a flute maker and seller. And initially, even Loman was into that business. However, later on, he meets Davis Engelman, who introduces him to salesmanship, and he becomes a salesman. Now he is a salesman, as you know. Willy Loman returns to his home in Brooklyn one night, exhausted from a failed sales trip. Now he is exhausted. Why? Because he is a traveling salesman. We have two kinds of salesmen, floor salesmen and traveling salesmen. Traveling salesmen are salesmen who move from place to place and make sales. Whereas floor salesmen are salesmen who work there in the stores. That means they don't have to travel. And another point, or say another reason for his being exhausted and fatigued is that he is 63 now. So he's quite old. That is why he's exhausted. Willy Loman returns to his home in Brooklyn one night, exhausted from a failed sales trip. And besides, the trip wasn't successful. It was a failed sales trip, means he could not make sales. His wife, Linda, tries to persuade him to ask his boss, Howard Wagner, to let him work in New York so that he won't have to travel. Now his wife understands his problem. He knows that her husband is not that energetic, and he cannot continue to be a traveling salesman. So what does she suggest? She suggests her husband to talk to Howard Wagner. Howard Wagner is Willy's employer, and persuade him, speak to him to place him there in New York itself, where they stay, where they have a house. Willy says that he will talk to Howard the next day. Willy complains that Biff, his older son, who has come back home to visit, has yet to make something of himself. See, another point which is bothering Willy Loman is that his elder son Biff has not started doing anything yet, although he's 34, but he has not stood on his own steps. That means he is still dependent on his father, Willy Loman, who is not doing well in his business, in his salesmanship. So this is another point of worry. Linda scolds Willy for being so critical, and Willy goes to the kitchen for a snack. Now Linda is a very supportive wife. She, in fact, is all the time cooling them both, father and son. There's Willy and Biff. As Willy talks to himself in the kitchen, Biff and his younger brother Happy, who is also visiting, reminisce about their adolescence and discuss their father's babbling, which often includes criticism of Biff's failure to live up to Willy's expectations. So as Willy talks to himself, now when do you talk to yourself? Well, you talk to yourself when you are in some problem and do not have its solution. So this is not a kind of soliloquy. This is in fact a kind of psychological disorder. When you indulge in soliloquy, you speak your mind out, and audience are given a peep into the character's mind, character's psyche. Whereas this is a psychological disorder, and why is he suffering from it? He is suffering from it because he is not making enough money to meet the requirements of his family. Besides, his sons are also not doing well, and he is already very old. So there are too many problems going on in his house and in his mind. That is why, he keeps talking to himself. And sometimes he's even loud. And, most of the time he's talking about Biff's failure to live up to Willie's expectations. That is, he had high expectations from his son. He was very proud of his elder son, Biff, and he wanted him to do something great. But he couldn't do. That is why he is very disappointed. As Biff and Happy, dissatisfied with their lives, fantasize about buying a ranch out west. Willie becomes immersed in a daydream. Now, Willie's sons, Happy and Biff, are visiting home. And they are very close to each other. They discuss their adolescence times, and they discuss their father's babbling. And they are also dissatisfied with their lives. Means they know that they couldn't do well. So when they talk to each other, they discuss their failures. They fantasize about buying a ranch out west. Biff, in fact, is interested. What is ranch? Ranch is, in fact, a large farm, and you have such farms, especially in North America, where say, cattle or other animals are bred. So, Biff wants to start that business of ranching cattle, you may say. Willie becomes immersed in a daydream. And what do we notice? Here we see that Willie becomes immersed in a daydream again. He pays his sons, now younger, who are washing his car. So, the best time in Willie's life was when his sons were teenagers, when they were younger. So, most of the time, you would find that he remembers that time. Say, around, 20, 25 years. No, I must say 15, 16 years ago. Now they are 34, while they were teenagers. So that was the best period they had. This is what Willie thinks. So he takes resort to that time. So what do you see here? Willie becomes immersed in a daydream. He praises his son, now younger. So he praised his sons while they were younger. Now he doesn't have praise for them. He doesn't have admiration for them. He had admiration for them while they were young. And when he remembers them while they were young, he remembers them that they were washing his car. That was the happy times. The young Biff, a high school football star, and the young Happy appear. So when he moves into the past, what does he see? He sees young Biff. He imagines, Biff as a football star. He was a sports star. And he was well liked. People liked him. His peers liked him. And the young Happy appeared. So this was the best time. Even in the, as far as, the sons are concerned, they had the best times in their youth while they were teenagers. They interact affectionately with their father, who has just returned from a business trip. And that time, there were no tensions because the dreams were new. And they wanted that their dreams might come true or will come true. So they interact affectionately with their father, that is Willie, who has just returned from a business trip. Willie confides in Biff and Happy that he is going to open his business one day, bigger than that owned by his neighbor Charlie. Now Charlie is their neighbor, And Charlie, you may say, is a kind of, say, competitive partner of or neighbor for Willie Loman. He sees Charlie as his competitor, which is his flaw, because like Charlie doesn't see him as his competitor. Charlie doesn't have any competition with him. Charlie loves him selflessly, whereas Willie Loman, in fact, likes his friend, but he is also envious of him. Okay, his affluence, his business, and his son also in later life when he becomes a successful person. Charlie's son Bernard enters looking for Biff. Remember, say time and again, you would find that when they were young, whenever, you have this phrase, when they were young, that means here Willie is moving into the past. So whenever he moves into the past, it is a time when his sons were teenagers and they were all happy and they had big dreams and they wanted that their dreams would come true. While in the present times, they are not very happy because the dreams didn't come true. So they are passing through a very difficult phase of life. They are unsuccessful. Yet they do not accept this. They do not accept that they are failures. That's a flaw. They are not truthful to one another. They are not honest to one another. That's why, they have this anguish, this pain, this is stress. They are in stress because they are not truthful. They do not confide in one another. So what do we see here? Charlie's son Bernard enters looking for Biff. They were classmates, Charlie's son Bernard and Biff, probably. And that's why, Bernard often comes their place and looks for Biff, who must study for math class in order to avoid failing, because he is not doing well in his studies. Biff is not doing well in his studies. And Bernard is very good at studies. So that is why Bernard wants Biff also to work a little hard so that he can get through the math exam. Willie points out to his sons that although Bernard is smart, he is not well liked, which will hurt him in the long run. This is important, which will hurt him in the long run, and it does hurt him in the long run. Yes, it does hurt him. Willie points out his sons that Bernard is smart. Okay, Bernard is smart. That means he is smart at studies. He is working well. He gains good. He is doing well in academics. He gets good marks. But he is not well liked. This is a very important phase, and you see this is there in double inverted commas. So this is important, well liked. So what does Willie think? That to be well liked is tantamount to be successful. This is what he thinks. Why is he well liked? Why Biff is well liked? Because Biff is a sports star. He plays for his school team, and other schools also want him to play for them. So that way, he's liked by his peers, or say his teachers, or his sports teacher, you may say. But as far as academics is concerned, he is not doing well. And Bernard later on becomes a successful person. That is why this fact hurts him. That's why you have this, which will hurt him in the long run. And when the plays move further, and when they are young gentlemen, like when Happy is 32 and Biff is 34, and Bernard is also around the same age. So now that means in the present, Bernard is a very successful man. So this was the first slide that we discussed. Now let us move on to the second slide. A younger Linda enters. So again, I'm saying it again. Whenever you have such a phrase like a younger Linda enters, or a younger Biff Happy enters, or like whenever you have this younger, this adjective younger, that means the story has moved into the flashback. This play is written in stream of consciousness technique, and therefore the story keeps moving like a pendulum from present to past and past to present. This happens so because Willy Loman is in a habit of daydreaming. He remains in distress all the time. That is why he suffers from psychological disorder. So a young Linda enters, and the boys leave to do some chores. Willie boasts of a phenomenally successful sales trip, but Linda coaxes him into revealing that his trip was actually only meagerly successful. So that means he wasn't doing well in his business. He was not doing well in his salesmanship. Willie complains that he soon won't be able to make all of the payments on the appliances and car. Now that is why bills are pending and they are not able to pay them duly. Why? Because they are running short of money. He complains that people don't like him, and that he's not good at his job. He complains that he complains to Linda, his wife, that people don't like. Why do people not like him? People do not like him because he is old and he does not know how to sell products. He's not giving profit to the company. That's why people do not like him anymore. And he's not doing good at his job. He admits this. He confesses to his wife. As Linda consoles him, he hears the laughter of his mistress. Now see, again he goes into the past. He approaches the woman who is still laughing and engages in another reminiscent daydream. Willie and the woman flirt, and she thanks him for giving her stockings. Since you have read the play, so you know he suffers from guilty consciousness because of his cheating on Linda, his virtuous and devoted wife. He had a mistress in Boston, and he often stayed with her there in a hotel, and that is why he when he remembers this event, this episode, he becomes very guilty, and he becomes angry also to remember that event. So this is like I don't know. I'm reminded of a Urdu couplet, which is like lamhon ne khata ki thi, sadiyon ne saza pai. Yeah, this is like this. The woman disappears. The woman he had his affair with, the woman disappears, and Willie fades back into his prior daydream in the kitchen. Linda, now mending his stockings, reassures him. He scolds her mending and orders her to throw the stockings out. See, why does he say to throw the stockings out? Because stocking reminds him of the stockings he gifted to the mistress, to the woman in Boston. He is guilty because he should have given a pair of stockings to his wife. Instead of gifting a pair of stockings to his wife, he presents a pair of stockings to the woman. So that's why he's guilty, and he is overreacting. Lily, what is her name? Like Linda, mending her stockings. Bernard burst in. Again, looking for Biff. Bernard is Charlie's son, Charlie, Willie's neighbor. Linda reminds Willie that Biff has to return a football that he stole. And she adds that Biff is too rough with the neighborhood girls. Here I must point out to you that Biff has become a kleptomaniac, or Biff is a kleptomaniac, you may say. He is in the habit of stealing. And why has he become a kleptomaniac? He has become a kleptomaniac. That means he steals, he can't help it. Because he is not very successful. He has not done well in his life. Because he has failed in academics. He could not make a good career. These are the reasons. Like when you're dejected, when you don't do well in your life, then you do all sort of, say, weird things. So kleptomania is in fact a weird, habit. And he has developed this. Biff has developed this. And that is why, he was behind the bars also once. So, yeah, both leave, and though the daydream ends, Willie continue to mutter to himself. Yeah. So, means he is disturbed, immensely disturbed, and that is why, he is muttering. Even while he is alone or with others, he keeps on muttering, babbling, like he sees people who are not there. He often talks to Ben, his dead brother. Although Ben is not around yet, he sees, he suffers from hallucination, you may say. The older Happy. When they say the older, that means the story is in the present now. Initially you will have difficulty in understanding the story, but once you understand the concept of stream of consciousness, then I think it will be very easy for you to understand the story, comprehend the story. It happens in stream of consciousness novels or plays or stories, that story moves from past to present and present to past. So it's like a pendulum of a clock, it keeps on shifting from, say, one extreme to another extreme, from present to past and past to present. So, yes, both leave, and though the daydreams end, Willie continues to mutter to himself. The older Happy comes downstairs and tries to quiet Lily. Okay, say, make him cool. Agitated, Willie shouts his regret about not going to Alaska with his brother, Ben, who eventually found a diamond mine in Africa and became rich. This is a regular regret with Willie. Like, he could not avail of the opportunity. His brother, before going to Alaska, wanted Willie also to come along and make his fortune there, but he didn't go. Now, he's all the time regretting that, because Ben went there and Ben made a lot of money over there. So this is a regular regret that we see. And that is why, Ben comes in his dreams also, or say in daydreams. He's often talking to Ben, who eventually found a diamond mine in Africa and became rich. Charlie, having heard the commotion, enters. Now there's this disturbance, uproar. So who enters? Charlie enters. Charlie is a real good friend. Happy goes off to bed, and Willie and Charlie begin to play cards. Charlie offers Willie a job, but Willie, insulted, refuses it. Charlie, in fact, is a very nice person indeed. He sees Willie in a problem. That's why he wants to offer a job to Willie, but Willie refuses. Willie, I don't know. He thinks himself to be a big shot, and he cannot work under Charlie probably. That's why he refuses the job. Although he is taking loans from him, borrows money from him, that's all right with him. He doesn't have a problem there. But as far as working under, say, Charlie is concerned, or joining his business is concerned, then Willie won't accept. This is how Willie is. As they argue, Willie imagines that Ben enters. See, now again he is going to past. Ben, his elder brother, who is no more now. Willie accidentally calls Charlie Ben. See the height of hallucination. Now Ben has come to play cards with him, and instead of seeing Ben, instead of seeing Charlie, he sees Ben in him. Ben inspects Willie's house and tells him that he has to catch a train soon to look at properties in Alaska. He's daydreaming. He's remembering the past. As Willie talks to Ben about the prospect of going to Alaska, Charlie, seeing no one there, gets confused and questions Willie. Willie yells at Charlie, who leaves. Now Charlie couldn't understand what is all going on. He couldn't understand who is he talking to and why is he talking, say, rubbish. The younger Linda enters and Ben meets her. Willie asks Ben impatiently about his life. Ben recounts his travels and talks about their father. Even Willie's father left them for a foreign land, while Willie Loman was a very small boy. He was hardly 3, and his father left him. So this is also a kind of, the reason, you may say, for psychological disorder in Willie. So, only person he is close to is Ben. Although Ben is no more, yet he often daydreams or he sees Ben. He often, whenever he's in problem, he discusses problem with Ben. Whenever he discusses his dreams, he discusses it with Ben. When he wants to make money and how to make money, then also he discusses it with Ben. So Ben is a confidante or a person he relies or bank upon for any help, for anything for that matter. As Ben is about to leave, Willie daydreams further, and Charlie and Bernard rush in to tell him that Biff and Happy are stealing lumber. Lumber is timber. Although Ben eventually leaves, Willie continues to talk to him. Willie continues to talk to Ben. Ben has already left, yet he continues to talk to him. So, again we see that Biff and Happy are stealing lumber. So, they cannot earn money by right means. So, they are doing it by wrong means. You have regular occurrence of Ben. Ben is not a living character, but Ben is there in imagination of Willie Loman. Ben has become a yardstick of success for Lily. Because Ben made a lot of money in Alaska, a distant land. Sometimes, I must say, quite often, the distant lands fascinate us. And that is why people leave their motherland to make their fortune abroad. That's why, people go to America also. They feel that, if they go America and settle down there for some time, they can make money there. So this is, the distant lands fascinate people. दूर के ढोल सुहाने kind of.